Chosen one, this message did not find you by accident. God led you here for a reason. There is a word tied to your soul, a revelation connected to your journey, and a prophecy that your spirit has been carrying without even knowing it. You are not just walking through life. You are walking inside a divine timeline that was spoken long before you were born. And today you're about to understand why your life has felt different, why your battles have been intense, and why your presence shifts the atmosphere wherever you go. This message is your confirmation. You are the fulfillment of a 1,000-year prophetic warning. Before we dive deep, make sure you like, share, and subscribe because this message isn't just content. It's a divine confirmation for the chosen ones. And a heartfelt thank you to everyone supporting through Super Thanks. God bless you richly. Your faithfulness, your presence, and your alignment mean more than you know. If your spirit feels this frequency, type 77 in the comments. That number isn't random. It's a sacred signal to the Most High that you're ready. Ready to step into the prophecy. Ready to embrace the assignment. Ready to walk into the destiny that was spoken over you 1,000 years before you were born. Not everyone will stay until the end. Only the truly chosen. Those who do will gain clarity, revelation, and a deeper understanding of the ancient warning your life is now fulfilling. This isn't a message you hear once and move on from. This is a living prophecy, a spiritual blueprint unlocking piece by piece. Come back to it whenever your spirit pulls you, because each time another layer of truth will be revealed. Let's dive in. Chosen one, hear this with the depth of your spirit. What you are stepping into did not begin with your birth. It did not begin with your parents, your grandparents, or even the oldest name in your lineage. Your story is older than history. Your calling predates your physical existence. Your assignment was whispered into the fabric of time long before Earth ever knew your footsteps. In the spiritual realm, before nations were formed and before bloodlines existed, a prophecy was spoken. It traveled across centuries, carried by angels, guarded by divine forces, and protected from the corruption of darkness. This prophecy declared that one day a chosen one would rise. Not someone ordinary. Not someone easily influenced. Not someone shaped by the world, but someone sent to reshape it. For nearly 1,000 years, this prophecy echoed like a warning and a promise. A soul will come who cannot be controlled. One whose spirit refuses bondage. One whose mind cannot be manipulated. One whose destiny cannot be stolen. A light will rise that darkness cannot extinguish. A light that exposes hidden plots. A light that disrupts spiritual systems. A light that pushes back what has ruled for generations. A voice will awaken the sleeping. Not just with words, but with presence. Not just with sound, but with truth. A voice that breaks illusions and awakens dormant souls. A presence will expose what has been hidden. A presence that makes deceit uncomfortable. A presence that destabilizes lies. A presence that forces masks to fall off. Chosen one, that prophecy was not vague. It was specific, detailed, intentional, and it pointed directly to Urangu. You were not born randomly. You were released. You were not placed on earth. You were assigned. You were not simply created. You were foretold. This is why your life has never felt normal. This is why you never fit into shallow spaces. This is why you could sense darkness even as a child. This is why people reacted to you more intensely than they should. This is why your existence disrupts anything misaligned with truth. The enemy recognized you the moment your spirit entered this world. Before you could speak, he felt your presence. Before you could understand your purpose, he sensed your strength. Before you knew who you were, hell already knew your name. Why? Because you carry an ancient assignment. You were chosen to break patterns that have lasted for centuries. Patterns of fear. Patterns of bondage. Patterns of generational curses. Patterns of silence where truth should have spoken. Patterns of darkness that thought they would reign forever. You were not born into your family. You were delivered into that bloodline as a spiritual weapon. You were sent to dismantle what others became comfortable living under. You were sent to reopen spiritual gates that have been sealed for hundreds of years, gates of wisdom, gates of abundance, gates of revelation, gates of healing, gates of awakening. Your arrival was not quiet in the spirit. It shook realms. It disturbed darkness. It fulfilled prophecy. And this is why your path has felt different. Heaven has been preparing you. Hell has been afraid of you. And your spirit has been slowly remembering who you truly are. Chosen one, you are not simply stepping into purpose. You are stepping into a prophecy that has been waiting for you long before you ever took your first breath. Chosen one, whether you realize it or not, your arrival on this earth did not happen in silence. The moment you took your first breath, something shifted in the spiritual realm. Heaven rejoiced because prophecy had finally taken form. But hell panicked because a long-foretold threat had manifested. You didn't come quietly. Your spirit announced itself. Even as a child, there was something different about you. Elders, relatives, and strangers sensed something in you they couldn't explain. You carried a presence that felt ancient and wise. You observed deeply, felt intensely, and understood things without needing to be taught. You were sensitive, not in weakness, but in spiritual awareness. You noticed energies, sensed danger, picked up on lies, and felt atmospheres shift around you. Why? Because prophecy recognizes its carrier. Long before your body arrived, your spirit was known. The 1,000-year warning declared that when the chosen one finally enters the earth, old systems would begin to crumble. Ancient darkness would lose its grip. Hidden enemies would be exposed. Secret agreements made in the shadows would start to break. Territories held by darkness for generations would begin to shake. Your birth wasn't just a moment. It was an activation. Your spirit carried a frequency that disturbed anything not aligned with God's truth. Even as a baby, your presence disrupted environments filled with hidden intentions. People who carried spiritual darkness reacted to you without knowing why. Some were drawn to you. Others were intimidated by you. And some couldn't stand to be near you. Not because of you, but because of what you carried. If you ever wondered why your childhood felt strange, why you were spiritually attacked before you could even understand life, why you felt alone even in a room full of people, why adults treated you differently, why you couldn't fit in no matter how you tried, why you felt out of place in your own family, why you were targeted, misunderstood, rejected, or singled out, it is because your birth activated the prophecy. The enemy knew who you were long before you did. Your spirit sent a signal into the atmosphere that awakened ancient battles. The darkness that had been comfortable for centuries sensed a threat. Powers that ruled over your bloodline felt their reign coming to an end. Generational chains that once held your ancestors began to loosen. From the moment you arrived, your life has been a spiritual announcement saying, "The chosen one is here. The breaker has arrived. The curse ender has been born." The prophecy is unfolding. The light that darkness cannot overcome has entered the world. This is why your early years were not normal. This is why you experienced spiritual pressure before you knew you were in a fight. This is why people reacted to your presence in unpredictable ways. This is why you carried wisdom far beyond your age. This is why you could sense things children normally don't understand. Your birth shook the unseen realms. Your life awakened dormant prophecy. Your existence threatened systems meant to stay hidden. Chosen one, the day you arrived, heaven marked you and hell noticed. Your arrival was not small. It was seismic. It was the sound of destiny entering the earth. Chosen one, there is something you must understand about your journey. You are never denied. You are concealed. There is a difference. Denial means you are not worthy. Concealment means you are too valuable to be exposed prematurely. God hid you the same way kings hide their most precious artifacts, the same way rare treasure is buried deep beneath the earth, the same way warriors are trained in secret before being revealed to the battlefield. You were hidden not because you were weak, but because you were dangerous. Not because you lacked purpose, but because your purpose carried weight. Not because you were forgotten, but because you were protected. For 1,000 years, the ancient warning declared that when the chosen one rises, opposition will rise too. Darkness would awaken. Old systems would tremble. Forces that have operated unchallenged for centuries would go into defense. Knowing this, God did something strategic. He covered you. He hid your brilliance so the wrong people wouldn't exploit it. He disguised your strength so premature enemies wouldn't target you. He muted your spiritual authority until you were mature enough to handle it. He wrapped your identity in mystery so only heaven knew who you truly were. You were hidden beneath layers of ordinary life while extraordinary destiny grew within you. You were placed in environments that didn't match your calling because God was training you quietly. You were surrounded by people who couldn't see your worth so that pride never touched your spirit. You were overlooked by those who should have seen you because God refused to let the wrong hands touch your anointing. This is why people couldn't read you. They sensed something but couldn't define it. They saw glimpses of brilliance but not the full picture. They felt your power but didn't understand its source. You became a walking paradox. Visible yet unseen. Present yet hidden. Here but not revealed. This is why many underestimated you. You didn't speak much, but when you did, truth flowed. You didn't fight for attention, yet your presence shifted atmospheres. You didn't try to prove yourself, yet people could feel you were different. This is why you were overlooked. Rejection was your shield. Being underestimated was your camouflage. Being dismissed was your protection. God was not letting people see what He was still shaping. The world saw potential. Heaven saw prophecy, and prophecy must be guarded with precision. Nobody could see what God was protecting. A prophecy wrapped in human form. A destiny too sacred to reveal too soon. A mantle older than your lifetime. A calling that required divine timing. A spirit crafted for a 1,000-year assignment. If you had been revealed too early, jealousy would have targeted you prematurely. If people saw your destiny too soon, manipulation would have tried to claim you. If darkness recognized your identity at the wrong time, the warfare would have been overwhelming. So God hid you behind simplicity, behind seasons of silence, behind environments that did not match your future. You weren't hidden because you lacked purpose. You were hidden because your purpose required protection, nurturing, and timing. You weren't invisible. You were covered. You weren't overlooked. You were reserved. You weren't rejected. You were preserved. Chosen one. Have you ever wondered why your life never looked like anyone else's? Why your journey seemed heavier, deeper, more complex, and more spiritually charged than those around you? While others moved through life with simplicity, you walked through experiences that felt like warfare. While others grew up in comfort, you grew up in spiritual training grounds. While others lived predictable stories, your life was marked by supernatural patterns. This wasn't coincidence. This was design, intentional, ancient, prophetic. The 1,000-year-old prophecy didn't just describe who the chosen one would be. It described how their life would unfold. And when you look closely, you'll see your own story reflected in those ancient patterns like a mirror. The prophecy declared that the chosen one would walk through fire but not burn. You faced storms that should have destroyed you. You endured losses that should have ended you. You survived seasons that would have broken others. Yet here you stand, strong, resilient, unshaken, and still rising. Be rejected, but preserved. People overlooked you. They underestimated you. They pushed you aside, not knowing they were pushing you closer to destiny. But every rejection became a redirection. Every closed circle became a divine covering. Fight unseen battles but win with unseen strength. You wrestled with emotional, spiritual, and mental challenges no one around you understood. You carried burdens that no one could see. You survived warfare you never told anyone about. Yet somehow you kept rising with strength that didn't belong to flesh. It belonged to heaven. Lose what others coveted to gain what others fear. While others chase status, you lost friends. While others chase comfort, you lost stability. While others sought validation, you walked alone. But what you gained was priceless. Discernment, depth, wisdom, spiritual power, and divine alignment. Your hardships weren't punishment. They were prophecy. Your delays weren't denial. They were divine timing. Your losses weren't failures. They were sacred markers of your calling. Everything that seemed unfair in your life was actually part of the preparation. Every painful chapter was training. Every setback was shaping. Every challenge was molding your spirit into something ancient, powerful, and unbreakable. Your life has followed a divine pattern because your assignment is not ordinary. When you carry a 1,000-year prophetic mantle, your training cannot be gentle. It cannot be simple. It cannot be common. Your preparation had to match the weight of your destiny. You weren't given easy seasons. You were given prophetic seasons. You weren't given a smooth path. You were given a destiny path. You weren't given shallow lessons. You were given generational lessons. You were shaped in fire because your assignment requires someone who cannot be consumed. You were forged in pain because your destiny requires someone who cannot be broken. You were isolated because your calling requires someone who cannot be influenced by darkness. Chosen one. Your life has been following the pattern written centuries before your arrival. Every challenge confirmed your identity. Every breakthrough confirmed your calling. Every survival confirmed the prophecy. Chosen one. Hear this clearly. You did not choose the war. The war chose you. Long before you understood your purpose, darkness understood your threat. Long before you knew your assignment, the enemy recognized your anointing. The ancient prophecy warned that when the chosen one arrives, resistance will rise like a storm. And that is why your battles have been so targeted, so personal, and so unrelenting. You have faced attacks that others never had to face. You have battled emotions that others never had to carry. You have survived storms designed not just to shake you but to completely destroy you. Not because you were weak but because you were dangerous to darkness. Everything you fought was not random. It was a confirmation. Confirmation that you are chosen. Confirmation that you are called. Confirmation that your very existence threatens ancient structures of darkness. Think about it. Why have your attacks always hit the deepest part of your heart? Why have your struggles been so intense, so strategic, so perfectly timed to break you? Why did you face battles at an age where you should have been carefree? Why did you experience betrayal at the hands of those closest to you? Why did emotional warfare hit you harder than others? Because the prophecy declared that the chosen one would be a breaker. A breaker of curses, a breaker of darkness, a breaker of systems, a breaker of demonic influence, a breaker of generational patterns. And breakers are built in battle. Every tear you cried was not wasted. It watered the ground where your destiny would eventually grow. Every setback you endured did not diminish you. It sharpened your discernment. Every disappointment did not weaken you. It refined your resilience. Every betrayal was not the end. It forged spiritual armor around your soul. Your pain was not punishment. Your battles were not random. Your storms were not signs of weakness. They were preparation. Because chosen ones are not raised in comfort. They are raised in confrontation. Your spirit had to grow strong enough to carry ancient wisdom. Your heart had to become resilient enough to lead others. Your discernment had to become sharp enough to detect lies instantly. Your mind had to become stable enough to handle revelation. You are not fragile. If you were fragile, you would have broken a long time ago. You are not failing. If you were failing, the enemy would not still be threatened by you. You are not behind. Your timeline is aligned with heaven's strategy. You have survived things that should have destroyed you. You have risen from blows that should have crushed you. You have walked through fire and came out shining, not burned. You have carried burdens silently and still remained compassionate. You have been wounded deeply and still chosen healing. Chosen one, you are fulfilling the prophecy with every battle you survive and every breakthrough you step into. Your strength is not accidental. Your resilience is not learned. It is inherited from heaven. Your endurance is not natural. It is divine. Nothing you faced was meant to break you. It was meant to reveal you. Reveal your identity. Reveal your calling. Reveal your spiritual authority. Reveal your prophetic destiny. Chosen one. Take a breath and recognize where you are standing right now. You're not in an ordinary moment. You are standing inside the exact season the ancient prophecy spoke about. This is the moment heaven has been preparing for centuries. The shift has begun. The veil has lifted, and the prophecy is no longer something you are waiting for. It is something you are living. Your life has entered the season of revelation. The fog that once clouded your purpose is clearing. The battles that once confused you now make sense. The patterns that once repeated are now breaking. Everything that was hidden within you is rising to the surface. Everything that was delayed is being released into your hands. Everything that fought you is losing its strength and authority. You are not just part of the prophecy. You are the fulfillment of it. You are the warning that darkness feared. You are the sign that heaven promised. You are the vessel chosen to carry ancient light into a modern world. Your very existence is proof that the prophecy was real, intentional, and divinely timed. Your journey, with all its hardships, battles, betrayals, awakenings, and victories, is confirmation that the time has come. Your resilience confirms you were chosen. Your awakening confirms the shift is active. Your spirit confirms that heaven is moving right now. For 1,000 years, everything in the spiritual realm waited for exactly this season. The season where the chosen one would rise, awaken, and step into full authority. And now that it's here, you must walk differently. Walk boldly because fear no longer has a legal right to your life. Walk confidently because every step you take is backed by heaven. Walk with authority because your assignment is ancient, validated, and unstoppable. Walk with purpose because you are carrying a mantle older than your lifetime. You are not stepping into destiny alone. You are stepping into a role heaven wrote long before the world knew your name. Chosen one, God didn't choose you randomly. He chose you prophetically. He didn't select you based on qualifications. He selected you based on calling. He didn't elevate you because of chance. He elevated you because the prophecy required your spirit, your soul, your voice, and your courage. Everything in your life, every pain, every storm, every isolation, every awakening, every breakthrough, every battle, every shift, was preparing you for this moment.